showing you how to use our platform and also how we help training companies, higher education to digitize your content. So without further ado, I will share my screen. Okay, so over here, if you can see my screen right now, I'm just going to start. So thank you again for joining the session. And today we are going to talk all about building successful learning and training programs on OpenLearning. So just feel free to say hello in the chat box and also get to know each other. And at the same time, here are some of our housekeeping rules. The webinar is actually live and recorded, and the recording of this webinar will be sent to your email. If you have any questions throughout the session, feel free to drop it in the chat box. And we also have a poll question that's coming up somewhere towards the end of the session. Feel free to leave your feedback for us as well. So without further ado, I'll start the session. So OpenLearning itself, the company itself is from Australia. We have been around in Malaysia and Australia for about close to 9 years now. Over the span of 9 years, we've garnered about 2.93 million of learners that is actively learning on the platform. And at the same time, we also have a marketplace for you to offer your micro-credentials, short courses, or even full degree or diploma programs on the marketplace. So up to date, we have about 177 education providers with us. Here are some of the few education providers we have. So over here, you can see in the corporate segment, we have people from the financial institution like CSAN, MIA, UOB, FAA that uses the platform to do internal training as well as external training for their members. And we also have people like NIOSH, who are industry lead bodies that offers training program and refresher program for their members as well. And here are also some of the few like Integrity, McDonald's that run their program for internal training and also staff onboarding. In the higher education space, we have players like Sunway, KDU, Segi that uses the platform to deliver micro-credentials, use it as a learning management system, or even run online courses during the pandemic. And we also have people like ELTC, that's part of the MOE department, that uses the platform to run training programs for teachers across Malaysia. So these are some of the few clients that we have that's actively using the platform to deliver online courses. And over here, you can see from here, we actually have people that are based in Kuala Lumpur. So today the symposium is held by our team in Kuala Lumpur. We also have an office in Sydney where our CEO Adam sits. And we also have an office in Singapore. Everything that you see in pink over here, these are actually our support centers. So what this means to you as an end user, if you were to use OpenLearning, is that you'll always be supported 24/7 during weekdays, and it's office hours during weekends. So as we move on a little bit, these are some of the ways different client uses us. So we have people that actually use us for 100% online qualification, like degrees, diplomas, and you can even offer short courses like micro-credentials or even 2-3-day program on the platform. And blended learning is actually something that's quite popular these days, especially given the pandemic. So half of it is actually done on a platform like OpenLearning, and the other half, which is used to be face-to-face, is actually done online on platforms like Zoom or even Microsoft Teams. And then we have people using it as a learning management system. And because OpenLearning is offered on an unlimited courses, unlimited storage kind of concept that's hosted on cloud, this allows you to put as many files as you need onto the platform without having to worry about storage space. And then we have people that use it for private training, staff onboarding. If you'd like to offer it to the mass public for free, which is MOOC, you can also do that. OpenLearning also have a mobile app that you can use, especially for students that do not have access to computer or they're on the go, like in a bus or in a train or even Grab. They can easily learn on the mobile app. And as we move on, usually as clients, the first thing that you'll get when you use OpenLearning is that you get a personalized portal where you can co-brand You can brand your brand and your training company. Basically, you can even like choose the domain that you want. It can be customized domain, or if it's not customized, then it will be openlearning.com stroke and then your company name. So depending on you, you can even put in a promotional video about your company and the programs that you offer. You can even customize your logo and your menu, and also at the same time host all your library of courses on the portal. So think of it like an e-learning website that's fully owned by you, where you can actually host all your different online courses that you'd like to offer to the public, or even for your own internal students. And as we move on, this is usually how it will look like when you have a portal. You have all your training programs under you. For example, you have training program 1, training program 2, and under each of it, you have your modules and your subtopics. And at this level, the students' interaction with your training content or even your school materials is actually tracked on the platform automatically. So let's say if students are submitting their assignment, watching a video, everything is automatically tracked on OpenLearning. So here are also some of the features that we offer. We have certificates and badges, which you can easily customize and even put your branding onto it, including your signature. And each of these certificates comes with a unique certificate ID that allows you to verify it on OpenLearning's website. And the badges are also fully customizable, so you can design your badges to encourage students to continue learning on your course. And as we move on, we also have an assessment feature. And this is actually something that we'll cover somewhere later in the afternoon by our team learning services. So if you'd like to find out more about how our assessment works, remember to join the session later as well. And this is what I mentioned earlier. Everything is hosted on cloud. Therefore, it comes with unlimited storage and courses for you to use OpenLearning without having to worry about storage space. So what this means is that you can have all your students, or even use it as a LMS, or even your video recordings that you put during your classes. You can easily upload into OpenLearning and organize it in such a way that people or your students can easily access the files. And as we move on, I'm just going to go into the demo directly to show you how people generally use OpenLearning for different use cases. So without further ado, let me just exit this screen. Okay, so this is actually a sample of a non-customized domain. So you can see over here, it's got the openlearning.com at the front, and at the back, this is where Segi University name comes into play. And over here, you can see the promotional video about what they're after, and they're actually promoting Industry 4.0. And you can even see the logos, the menus that has been specifically customized for them. So what this means for you is that when you join OpenLearning, you'll get a portal like this where you can fully customize how you want it to look, the look and feel of the portal, and also the courses that you're offering. And at the same time, you can even decide how you want to offer your programs. So for example, Sergi has also offered their MBA programs online, and it's tied with 11 courses over here. And this is something that you can do if you have courses that you want to bundle together and offer it as a big program. And then as I scroll down a little bit, just to share with you the general look and feel of this portal, you can also see things like they have a little bit about what's it need for the students, and also the people who are teaching, as well as the testimonial. So generally, the way that you're looking at the portal right now is entirely up to you to customize. So and this one is by ELTC, the English is part of MOE, and they use this portal to actually train their teachers in Malaysia. So here they even have a video, a promotional video, and menus has been customized differently than what you will. And at the same time, you can also see this one is arranged in a different way, where they have categories within the course to actually allow students to choose different categories that they would like to learn from. And at the bottom, you can also see micro-credentials offered by ELTC itself, which you can take when which their student can take whenever they want to. And this is how their portal generally look like. And last but not least, another sample is actually Learning for Life, which is actually USM portal. So USM portal is quite unique because they're actually using the portal to fully offer micro-credentials courses. And you can see from here, the way that they've branded it is that it's in purple, and these are also the different menus that you can see, but instead of the standard course, you can also see the brochures, a little bit about what they're doing, what sort of micro-credentials they're offering, and then the feature of the like different modules that they offer, as well as the categories and the programs that they have. So as a student, usually when they start going into a portal like this, so imagine if this is actually your university or even your training company's portal, what a student can do is that they can easily click on any courses that they want to learn. So let's say if I'm a student, I'm interested to learn more about penyusuan awal selepas kelahiran. What I can do is I can click on find out more. And what happens is I'll be redirected to the course landing page. And on this course landing page, it shows what are the courses, what's inside the module, and at the same time, what are the like course outcome and the people that is supporting you throughout your journey in this course. And what you can do as a student is once you actually like what you see, you can easily just click on join now. And when you click on join now, what happens is you'll be redirected to our payment gateway, which the student would need to pay in advance before they can actually join your course. So OpenLearning's payment gateway supports Visa, MasterCard, and also direct banking such as CIMB Clicks and Maybank to you. And you can actually use this. And at the same time, some of you may have the questions like, if I don't want to charge for my students because they're my internal students, I'm running a like higher education center, what you can do is actually invite them. So there are actually 3 ways for you to invite your student. The first one is like how I showed you, where you can actually charge for your courses. The second one is to give them an access code, or the third one is you manually invite them into the course. So that means that you have 3 options to decide how you want your students to generally be able to access your course. So once we are done with that, we will now move on to how a student actually learn. So when a student has already started paying, right, the first thing that they'll see is they'll be able to access your course directly. And this is generally how it may look like depending on how you design it. So the banner over here, you can design it based on your course, and at the same time, you can even decide the menus that you want at your left-hand corner. And this is generally how our learning services team has designed this activity. If you'd like to join, this activity is free, so you can easily just join as a student as well if you'd like to find out more about how to design engaging online learning activities. So this is generally how it look like. You have different completion settings that the student would need to do to complete the program. So over here, I'm just gonna click on a sample, which is homepage. So we are just starting to learn about how to design engaging online activity. Let's see what do we need to do as a student. So over here, I can actually see the instruction. I have to scroll all the way to the bottom, the first step. The second step is to introduce about what is actually the experience that my best learning experience. So over here, I can actually post a little bit about my experience, and I can even share drawings of what I've learned, or like some of the best experience I've had, or the teachers that I remember. So you can actually see over here, different people are actually sharing different ideas of what they think makes a best learning experience. And at the same time, Open Learning's platform is very socially engaging in such a way that you can actually like not just learn from your trainers, but you can also learn from your peers at the same time. And you can even go to the extent of commenting on students' activity. So you can see over here, this is what the student have submitted. So people can generally just talk like how you interact in social medias like Facebook or Instagram. So this is actually one of the strengths of Open Learning, to transform the learning activity when it's done online, because previously in the past, it used to be just videos and then Q&A, and we all know that as students ourselves who have been through that, we all know that this is not the way that is effective when it comes to learning online, watching a 2-hour video and then answering in Q&A. So with a platform like this, it allows for that collaborative environment where you can actually share your ideas, and learning does not have to be a lonely journey. And at the same time, you're not just learning from your trainers, but you're also learning from your peers as well. So once you've completed all 3 of that activity that I've scrolled earlier, you would be able to get a tick at the top as a student. And at the same time, this tick will eventually contribute to a bigger progress bar at the top over here. So if I'm a student, I'm just clicking into this directly. I have 56%. So let's just see how it looks like. So as a student, I can actually see my progress, how far am I in the course, and to what extent I need to complete. So from here, I can see I have 4 units left. I can even see my course outcome, like what is expected from me for this course. And it also helps me identify the areas that I have not completed. And at the same time, if you're a lecturer or if you're a teacher joining this demo, excuse me, yeah, if you're a teacher joining this demo, you can also see to what extent the student has already completed the course. And you can also, let's say, if you come across a scenario where you have a lot of students that did not complete this activity design challenge, you can easily just hold a Zoom session just to tackle this part. But if it's just a student, you can easily just drop a text to the student. For example, I can just say like, "Hi, Abby, I noticed you're stuck here. Is there anything I can help you with?" So these are some of the ways the students can learn online. And at the same time, once they've completed all these courses, what happens is they'll be able to get a portfolio like this. And a portfolio actually shows evidence of the students' learning, the skills that they have gained from your college or even your training company. And this eventually will help the student to personally brand themselves and at the same time share this across to their potential employers. So the portfolio itself comes with a lot of things. For example, the student will be able to actually share a little bit about themselves and even attach a CV. And you can even see the education background and working experience. Not only can you see what he has done or what skills he's acquired, you can also see the different certificates he has gotten throughout his learning with your institution. So over here, we can see different sort of certificates. We also have the Accreditable certificate. Accreditable is actually the credentialing system that works on blockchain. So what this means is that if you're planning to offer micro-credentials, it's actually a more sophisticated and secure platform because when it comes to blockchain, the data cannot be easily tampered or altered. So that's why if you're interested in offering micro-credentials, it's also something that you can look into because OpenLearning already have a platform that's already integrated with Accreditable. And at the same time, if I just scroll slightly to the bottom, you can also see the badges and the achievement of the students. So this whole page actually allows the student to brand and also showcase whatever they've learned and help them to stand out from the thousands and thousands of graduates that's graduating every year. So now this is on the student. If you have any question, feel free to post it in the Q&A box or even the chat box. My colleague will be able to answer your questions, or even like I'll take your questions slightly later towards the end of the session. So now we will just move on to how does a course creator, like a lecturer or even a training provider, start to create course. So you can see over here, this is a sample of a dummy course, which is offline at the moment, but I'm actually in the midst of creating different learning activities for my students to learn. So in this case, I can easily just go into, let's say if this module is about activity 1, which is the theory part, and then activity 2, I have the videos, and activity 3 is actually for the students to answer a quiz for this topic. What I'm gonna do is create a activity 1 theory. So in this case, let's say if it's something about theory, I can easily just post a video. So in my case, I want to post a video and maybe a Q&A and maybe a space for the students to share their thoughts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag and drop. So everything on the left over here, you can see these are the widgets that you can use at your disposal. And everything at the middle over here, think of it like a blank canvas for you to put whatever programs or decide how you want to design your online learning journey for your students. So in this case, I just drag and drop a video widget. And what I can do is, if you have a file that's already within your computer, you can easily upload it into the system. Or if you have your videos on a YouTube URL, you can easily put a URL into it. So in my case, I'm going to give this video a title, which is assessment, and I'm going to put a URL into it. So what I'm going to do is, maybe I have a YouTube, I can even decide to what extent I want the videos to stop, and I click save, and what happens is a video automatically populate for your students to learn. And at the same time, you can also drag and drop different widgets. And a lot of people, I think when it comes to online learning, people are very concerned about what if you don't have the tech knowledge to actually like design your programs. The good thing about open learning is that you don't need an IT knowledge to be able to deliver successful online courses. And why is that? It's because we have a lot of tools that you can use, and you do not need to know anything about coding at all. So for example, if I'm a lecturer and I'm new to technology like this, what I can do is I just drag and drop, and I can easily just set up directly the different multiple choice question that I want the student to answer. And it's very intuitive, because basically what I see is what I can play around with and even decide how I want to change the different setting within the widget. And then at the same time, let's say I've already done my Q&A. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to allow for students to actually like post their assignments. So it could be in the form of PDF, even Excel, or like Word or PowerPoint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag a space for the student to upload all their programs, upload all their assignments or activities. So these are actually some of the ways the student can navigate. We have about 30 over widgets here, and each of these widgets comes with a completion setting. And the completion setting over here allows you to determine what your student need to do, or how do they interact with your content in order for them to get a tick at the top here. So for instance, if I'm just looking back at the video widget earlier, I have a completion tracking where I can decide to what extent I need the student to watch the video. So in my case, I'm going to put it to maybe 70%. And then only they'll be able to get a tick. So what I do is I'll just drag the bar over here to 70%, and I'll click save. So when the student watches it, the minute they reach up to this mark, they'll be able to get a tick over here. So this is a little bit on the platform, and we also have other features such as Microsoft Teams meeting that allows you to run blended learning directly into open learning. And like I mentioned earlier, as long as you know how to drag and drop, you're good to go with your online courses. So this is actually quite simple. We have Teams widget, and also like in the training sector, we have things where you can actually run your survey directly from the course itself instead of using other tools like Google Form. And these surveys that your student have already submitted will automatically be in the system, where you can easily just extract the data out later. So you can see over the span of like 3-4 minutes, I've managed to get quite a few courses running over here. Not a few courses, but one activity over here that's already ready for the students. So you can see that it's actually quite fast for you to set up different modules that you have. And the best thing is, once you've already set it up once, you can even choose to reuse different templates within your course. So if you're a lecturer, you're concerned about the time it takes, we also have pre-populated template for you to play around with and also decide to use, and you can easily just edit the content based on your own course materials. So these are some of the things that the system allows you to easily just add pages that you've already built, and you do not have to worry about spending so much time to rebuild everything from scratch every time you start a new activity or a new page. So now we have already covered the part where you learn to design courses on open learning. What we're going to do next is to look into what sort of data that's available on open learning's platform. So if you can see over here, I'm just going to go into administer learners. And when I press learners, I'll get a page like this. So this is actually my learner data, as you can see over here. And as a lecturer, I'll be able to see the different progress that my student has made over here. And I can even see my student Chandru is actually doing quite well. He spent a lot of time in the course and he's gotten at least 14.29% compared to everyone else within the course that has yet to start in this new course. So this is actually a good place for you to understand a little bit about your students on an individual level, and you can even track the progress. And the best thing is you can even click into the training progress and you can see to what extent the student has already completed, which is something that I showed you earlier. So this is my view as a student, and this is your view as the trainer, where you can click into it and see the same thing. And then you will also be able to see how long they've spent on your course, when they enroll into your course, which country they're from, and at the same time, not just the progress, but also the comment, kudos, and the percentage completed, and even the certificate ID. So if you have certain data that you'd like to add into this that's not in default, what you can do is you can even add pre-enrollment questions, like for example, it could be date of birth, or it could be like IC, or even company name, like the sample over here. So you can see this is actually not part of the default data set, but the best thing is you can add this and you can easily export the data out along with all the existing default data. And then as we move on, we'll just go into statistics. Statistics in OpenLearning allows you, so once I've clicked into this, it will actually show me the different progress on a overview of the whole course. So you can see over here the number of students that I have within the course, the students' completion rate, how long they generally spend on the course overall, and you can even identify different areas. For example, if I notice a lot of people are spending 16 to 19 minutes on a course, why are some courses taking longer? So this helps you to actually dive deep into your learning analytics and decide how you want to tweak a course. For example, if you want to make it shorter because it's 43 minutes, you can divide the course into 2 sections where students can move along easier. So these are the different tools that you can use on OpenLearning, and at the same time, you can even customize your certificate, decide how you want your certificate to look, the branding, the template, and you can even, so I'm just going to go back into this and show you the certificate portion from my course that I've just set up. So over here, you can see the different templates that I have. You can even upload your logo, decide how you want your wording to appear on the certificate. So in this case, it could be certificate of attendance, for example, or excellence instead of just certificate of completion. So what happens is I can easily just decide what or how I want the wording to look like, and at the same time, preview, I'll be able to see. So imagine this is going to be your company logo, your training signature, or even your lecturer signature, and each of these certificate comes with a unique ID. You can easily validate on OpenLearning. So this is actually the end-to-end process from the educator's perspective. So from a school perspective, the sort of portal that you'll get, the sort of courses that you can host within the portal, and at the same time, you can also look for the different ways the student can learn on the course when they've been invited. And then at the same time, you can also see how you can create courses like this on your own with OpenLearning as well. So this is basically the end-to-end use of OpenLearning, and you can even like use the payment gateway to charge for your courses. So without further ado, if there's any question, feel free to drop it in the chat box as well. So I'll just move back to the slide where we began. So I'm just going to present again. So over here, you can see this is actually the portal pricing. And the good thing about OpenLearning is we allow you to pay for what you need and eventually scale to the plans as you expand and grow with us. So you can see over here, right, our pricing starts for as low as 6,000 ringgit for 300 learners. and then it moves on to 500 learners to 1,000 learners. And each of these, so for the starter plus and also starter, it does not come with a custom domain, but for the institution onwards, it comes with a domain. So this is actually our most popular package. And the best thing is that it comes with a customized domain. All of these comes with unlimited storage, courses. We even help you to do a one-time portal design or setup before you can take it on and decide how you want to design your portal. And we provide training to teach you how to use the platform. And at the same time, if you'd like to even offer your courses on the marketplace, you can do so, and we can support you as you grow and scale your online training business with us. And then as we move on, this is actually something that my colleague will share in the chat box later. This is the 40% discount that we have right now exclusively for people who are joining this webinar throughout the symposium week. What you can do is, if you have your phone with you right now, you can scan the QR code, and at the same time, you can also schedule a call with the link that my colleague will share with you shortly. And the best thing is, because it's up to 40%, this means that you can actually get your Starter Plus package for 500 learners, at a price of a starter package, which is 6,000 ringgit. So in total, you save about 4,000 ringgit to get your course up and running. And if you're from the education industry, you're looking for a learning management system or even an online learning platform, you can actually think and consider if you'd like to capitalize or even like take the advantage that we offer this kind of promo at the moment. And at the same time, for institutions, you're not left out as well. You have a 3,000 discount for 15,000 ringgit per year. And this gives you about 1,000 learners. And this comes with single sign-on. You can even customize your domain. And at the same time, you have priority email and phone support. So up to here, is there any question from the floor on the system? Okay, so okay, at this moment, we have one question from the floor. Oh, thanks, the other one. Yeah, so we have a question over here that's asking, how do they actually start on the platform if they already have their own website? So in this case, I think I need to stress that OpenLearning is actually an e-learning portal. We are not a website. Therefore, if you'd like to connect OpenLearning to your website, you can easily hyperlink OpenLearning's domain. And at the same time, you can use OpenLearning's domain as the main e-learning portal to host all your programs just for e-learning purposes. So you can actually just hyperlink it back to your website. There's also another question over here, how to run assessments on OpenLearning. So for assessments, because we have a session later for the assessment, so feel free to join that session to get your answers answered directly from our learning services expert. Okay, let me see, what else do we have over here? Okay, so there's no more questions from the floor. So I'm just going to play a video to summarize what I've covered today. But at the same time, if you have any question, feel free to still drop it in the Q&A box. So without further ado, let me just share this. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining the session. Oh, there's a question from the participant. Is there any grants available that can be used for the open learning solution? So to answer the question here, right, there is actually a grant that you can use. For example, there is a CBT scheme. Let's say if you're a training company that's using it for your own internal training, you can utilize the grant, and the grant is actually offered by HRDF. It's part of your...
Hi, and welcome to the second panel session of the day. If you're joining us now for the first session, a very good morning, and thank you for joining.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, so to answer your question, sorry for the disruption. Yep. So there is actually a grant that you can use, which is the CBT scheme, especially if you're using it for your internal training programs. Then you can actually claim from HRDF for the grant. Yep. I hope that answers your question. Okay. If there's no question, we will end this session. But let's say if you're interested to find out more about our system and how we can actually help you scale your online programs, especially if you're offering micro-credentials, feel free to reach out to my teammate or even like book a demo or a meeting with us. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining.